first thing you need to do is be safe. Disconnect the appliance or turn off the breaker to avoid electric shock. Today we're going to be working on a Frigidaire gallery, and the problem that we having is that is given an error code SYEF. The model number is on the display. We also found accumulation of ice and the back wall in the freezer. The first thing we're gonna start doing is remove this 4 screws to be able to remove the racks. Now these 2 screws are the only ones have to be removed. The rest of the screws have to stay in place because they are not supposed to be removed. I'm going to try to show you guys in this video the screws that you have to remove and the screws that you're not supposed to remove. As you see, those screws are there, but they have to stay in there because it has a special attachment and they have to stay. The only one you have to remove is the one you see right there. On the other side as well, those screws are there with a slack. That way the other piece just goes in male to female connection. After you get the screws that I show you on the picture with the red narrow, then you can remove it. Then remove the screws from the back panel to be able to get it off. Also remove the screws on the top panel. The one is covering the fan motor. This piece is the one covers the harness for the ice maker. If you have an ice maker, then also remove this piece. Then after you remove the screws, this fan motor cover has some tabs and it have to be detached. Then grab a screwdriver and press the tabs on the side to be able to release the harness. Next, go ahead and lift this cover and put it to the side. After you get the back cover off, you will see 2 wires, one on the top and one on the bottom. Those are ground wires. Just remove the back panel out of the way. We already see accumulation of ice around the fan motor. Now the refrigerator is on an air code, so even if you defrost it, it's not gonna come on. You need to defrost it and then plug it back in to be able to erase the error code. As you see, we have a lot of accumulation of ice, but nothing is underneath, so that's an indication that the heat element is still good and it's still doing the defrost cycle. All this accumulation of ice is due to the fact that the fan motor is covered with ice. Now, according to the problem that we saw when we got to the house and checked the refrigerator, the door wasn't closing all the way. So everything looks like this accumulation of ice is due to a condensation because hot air was getting into the freezer. Now one of the trays was getting stuck and not letting the door from closing all the way. Remove these screws to be able to remove the fan motor and just release it from the harness. Over here I'm going to demonstrate how you remove the fan motor, but in this case what I'm going to do is just defrost the refrigerator because the fan motor is still in good condition. But if your fan is not working after you defrost it and disconnect the refrigerator and you need to replace the fan motor, this is the way you do it. It has two tabs on the side and they just need to snap in place. Put your blade back on. And plug the harness. And put it back in his place. Now go ahead and reinstall the screws that is holding this panel, which is basically the fan motor housing. Now we're gonna install the back panel, and we're gonna go ahead and reattach their ground wires into the panel. We already did the bottom one. We're gonna do the one that goes on the top. This is just for safety in case we have a shortage. Now we're gonna go ahead and put the ice maker harness where it should be. And just put the panel the way it was. If you need to pause the video or watch it a couple times, just go back and rewatch it to make sure it's installed. This panel is installed back correctly. Now we're gonna go ahead and install all our screws. The fan motor cover. Remember, those tabs on the side, they have to snap in place like you see on the video. And then go ahead and reinstall all three screws that holds the fan motor cover. Now the one I'm doing just now is the one that goes on the cover for the ice maker side, and you have to remember that this cover has the longer screws. Now lastly, from the back panel, we're gonna install this bottom panel, which is the one it's for the return. That's where the air is going into the bottom of the freezer evaporator. Now this cover just came off. This is for the light. I'm just putting it back in place. Now we're gonna install this rack, which is part of the door. And you have to remember that on these two racks, the one on the bottom and the one on the top, you only have to remove one screw. the other screws stays in place. Yes, get it in place and put it where it goes. In this picture, I show you again which screws have to be removed and which screws have to be reinstalled. Sorry I couldn't get this on camera. I'm trying to do this project by myself. This is the top rack. Again, on the previous picture I show you what screws have to be removed and what screws have to be reinstalled. Now we're gonna go ahead and reinstall this pry bar. This bar just maintain tension on the bottom drawer rack. We're gonna install the tray. And we're gonna install the top rack. Make sure it closes right, make sure the doors close right, and plug the refrigerator back. If this video helped you in any way, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for future videos. Thanks for watching.